I think obviously there are three things that need to happen in the Gaza situation. I mean, there's no choice but to kill those who insist on murdering civilians. There's no choice. They're not going to change their mind. And then the second thing is to change the education, so that a new generation of murderers is not trained to be murderers. And then the third thing, which is also very important, is to try to build prosperity.
Elon Musk is correct, whether he's doing it for PR purposes, like many say, or whether it's real. Some accuse him of going to Israel for PR in order to draw back major advertisers that left his X platform in the wake of his viral comment that supported a post that made wild conspiracy theories about Jews in America. So whether that is correct, the most important thing here is that he hit the nail on the head. He not only condemned what Hamas did, he indicated his interest in helping to rebuild and re-educate Palestinians living in Gaza. If Israel succeeds in physically dealing with Hamas, they will still need to deal with the psychological Hamas. That's their ideology, because it has become ingrained and to an extent become official state policy, not just for Hamas, but for the Palestinian authorities in the West Bank. They encourage their people to harm Israelis by paying them salaries and pensions, all in the name of freedom fighting. While these have become controversial because they claim that all their people imprisoned in Israel are prisoners of war, that they try to pay these people benefits, there's one problem with that. Apart from the different definitions by the Palestinian Authority, the US, Israel, and other countries, these payments that run into millions of dollars annually might encourage people to do something that will commit them to prison. Since they know there's a reward system, imagine being jobless on the outside and the person does something that will earn him up to $5,000 a month without working, just sitting in prison and be earning $5,000. It's a huge motivation for people who live in a place with high unemployment. Yes, this is the problem. And all these are funded by donors, the United States and other Western countries, including Arab countries. Although this didn't start today, but some countries are reevaluating how their donation is spent. Germany just halted the donation that they make to the United Nations Relief and Works Agency, UNRWA for short. Of course, you know what they do. They provide assistance and protection to all registered refugees in Gaza and the West Bank. Germany took this decision following an internal review of the humanitarian aid. It was discovered that Palestinian educational materials were employed to propagate hate and promote anti-Semitism. In some cases, they were used to glorify jihad. So they've got a lot of re-education to do. People need to be employed to get busy and stop being involved in non-productive ventures. The two-state solution needs to be actualized. If the Palestinians are truly committed to it, yes, there are doubts from the Israeli side that they are not committed to it because of the number of times they've rejected the deals. And they keep saying Israel should go back to 1967 borders. Some people ask, how about when Israel was inside the 1967 borders? They were still invaded by surrounding Arab countries. Even as far back as 1948, after Israel declared independence, they were attacked by surrounding Arab countries. So going by history, they have a point that most Palestinian leaders are not interested in a two-state solution. Now, let's see how Hamas violated the humanitarian pause. After Qatar announced on Monday that Israel and Hamas have agreed to extend the pause by 2 days, part of the conditions for the extension is that Hamas will release 10 hostages per day, and they've sent the names of people to be released today. Everyone was waiting for their release, and all of a sudden their operatives opened fire on IDF troops. Of course, they returned fire. Also, they detonated 3 charges near the IDF perimeter in northern Gaza. These devices were remotely detonated. Anyway, the incident didn't seem to truncate the humanitarian pause because it is still holding. All things being equal, the 10 people they are supposed to release today will still see their freedom. Thanks for watching.
Depends on whether you care what happens to the Palestinians as opposed to the Hamas government and the people with guided missiles. Yes, they were. Yes, they were. No, wait a minute. Yes, they were. And Hamas is really smart. When they decide to rocket Israel, they insinuate themselves in the hospitals, in the schools, in the highly populous areas, and they are smart. So they try. So they wait. They try to put the Israelis in a position of either not defending themselves or killing innocents. They're good at it. They're smart. They've been doing this a long time. Look, I don't agree. I killed myself to give the Palestinians a state. I had a deal they turned down that would have given them all of Gaza, all of Gaza, between 96 and 97% of the West Bank, compensating land in Israel, you name it.
I have a little bit of experience on Jew hatred, on anti-Semitism. I can recognize a Jew hater from a long distance. And let me be very, very clear. Elon Musk is not an anti-Semite. He is not an anti-Semite. And you really know it, those who are being so critical of him. He has made some serious mistakes. He says things we know in many other areas as well that are a little, like, what did he just say? But an anti-Semite? No way. I know there is an agenda on the extreme left to undermine him, to hurt him and destroy him. But the fact he is now in Israel, meeting with the prime minister and members of the cabinet during the war, do you think that the prime minister would be meeting with an anti-Semite? I don't think so. So there's an agenda, and he's made mistakes. But I consider him a friend of the Jewish people, without any doubt. So let's stop playing politics with Elon Musk. He is not an anti-Semite, not even close.
How are they being trained to have these, to believe that murdering and having joy at the death of civilians is a good thing, and to stop that training?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head, because we have first a mission to destroy Hamas. Nothing's going to stop that, because if you want peace, destroy Hamas. If you want security, destroy Hamas. If you want a better life for the Palestinians in Gaza who've been hijacked by Hamas, destroy Hamas. All of that is a precursor to the question that you asked. You first have to get rid of the poisonous regime, as you did in Germany, as you did in Japan, in World War II. These were two.
There's no choice. There's no choice.
So that's a prerequisite.
Yes. There's no choice.
But then look at what happened. I mean, what you had in Germany was denazification, and what you had in Japan under Douglas MacArthur was a cultural reformation. And Japan that you visit today is so different from Japan of the 1930s.
Yeah.
Germany that you visit today is so different from Germany of the 1930s. Well, is that possible in the Arab world? And I categorically say, of course it is, because we've seen it already in two places. We've seen it in the Gulf states, and we see that when you visit Dubai or when you visit Abu Dhabi, or when you visit Bahrain, you see something entirely different.
Sure.
There was, in fact, a cultural change there. And let me say that same thing is, in my opinion, happening to a considerable extent in Saudi Arabia. The de-radicalization of these Muslim countries, these Arab countries, some of it already took place, some of it is taking place.
Yeah.
But there's another country with a substantial Arab minority where that is already taken place, and that's called Israel.
Yeah.
20% of our citizens are Arabs, most of them Muslim.
Right.
They serve on, in high places in the academy, in the Supreme Court, in the Knesset, and so on. And I'm not saying that there isn't some radicalism there, but mostly there isn't.
Right.
And in fact, they're integrated into the society. So we have to do the same thing. We have to demilitarize Gaza after the destruction of Hamas, and we have to de-radicalize Gaza, and that will take some time, especially work on the mosques and on the schools. That's where children are, imbibe their values.
Yeah.
And then we have to also rebuild Gaza, and I hope to have our Arab friends help in that context.